If you didn't already know, Cameroon is home to three NBA players. The two-times NBA All-Star Joel Embiid playing for the Philadelphia Sixers, the rising star Pascal Siakam playing for the Toronto Raptors, and the NBA veteran Lucretion Ba'amute playing for the Los Angeles Clippers, making it the strongest basketball powerhouse in the whole continent of Africa. In December 2018, and without its key players, Cameroon took a serious option on what would have been its first participation at the world's final stage, the 2019 FIBA Men's Basketball World Cup that would take place in China. They just defeated Egypt to rank as best third-ranked team in the qualifying process, leaving Côte d'Ivoire, one of the two teams still battling for the fifth qualifying spot, at a position in the qualifiers where they had an Herculean task to complete, while hoping for Central African Republic to lose at least one of its three remaining games in order to qualify. Later, that we know back then that the highly unlikely was going to happen. Côte d'Ivoire blew all their opponents out, even the then undefeated Nigeria, which was the best African side during the qualifiers. The controversies legitimately arose at the end of the qualifying process concerning the Nigerian performances during the last window. In fact, it appears that Nigerians poorly played to allow Côte d'Ivoire to blow them out and thus qualify, when showing a high determination to defeat Central African Republic to have them eliminated. Before the game against Côte d'Ivoire, Nigeria made 9 perfect appearances to easily defeat all of its opponents with huge margins. But in the game opposing Nigeria to Côte d'Ivoire, statistics show that Nigeria shot at least 20% below their average shooting percentage during the qualifiers. The fact is, Nigeria scored just above half of their average points per game during the qualifiers, while taking as many shots as usual. The short of the games validates our point. Nigerians were missing from everywhere, having scored only one three-pointer out of the 22 they've taken. Some sequences of the game show them missing wide-open dunks and jumpers. Ike Jogu, MVP of the 2017 AfroBasket and Best Player and Team Captain of the Nigeria national team, played that game and culminated at a plus-minus of -34, is the equivalent of the plus-minus ratio of all the bench players of Nigeria combined, and he missed a wide-open dunk in almost every jumper he took, as you can see on his shot. Starters are the key of a game fixed, because the game is established through them. It's easy to observe their impact on the blowout loss. They scored less than half of their usual percentage throughout the game. On the other hand, their performance against Central African Republic, which is a team of the same caliber with Côte d'Ivoire, was at their standards. They took less shots but were highly efficient. In fact, Central African Republic was having the edge over Côte d'Ivoire in the race to the World Cup at that time, this happening only the day after their incredibly poor performance against Côte d'Ivoire. Moreover, a study of the evolution of the score shows a game-fixing pattern. That pattern is made of spectacular series at the beginning and at the end of the game to fine-tune the results so that they match the expectations of the fixers. A close look of the game shows a 8-0 run for Côte d'Ivoire at the beginning of the game and a 10-2 run for Côte d'Ivoire, followed by 9-0 run for Nigeria to close the game. Nigerian fans expressed their doubts about the performance of the national team. In fact, they didn't hesitate to call it a match sold or a game fixed. They cheer for Nigeria, so they are the ones who can really detect something going wrong for the team. This subject is raising enough questions for FIBA to open an investigation about the matter, but in the past, FIBA has made little to nothing to address this kind of issue. This is not the first time such a thing happens. There are many complaints of tampering that happened during these qualifiers, and FIBA failed to address the issue, investigate properly, engage actions, or share the reports with the public. Should we allow frauds and corruption to prevail in the basketball professional milieu in spite of competitiveness, transparency, and fair play?